The Fermi Paradox asks why aliens have never visited our planet, not even once, despite the fact that the universe is so old and huge that it's highly likely that there would be some advanced species that might have developed interstellar transport and might have already visited the Earth in the past. As intriguing as it may sound, we still don't have any evidence to prove that aliens have been here. So why did they never visit our planet? Do they already know about our existence? Or are they simply not advanced enough to contact us yet? Keep watching this video till the end to find out. The United States Congress held a hearing into the U.S. government information pertaining to unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, earlier this year. The last time something similar was discussed was about 50 years ago, as a part of the U.S. Air Force investigation called Project Blue Book, with the primary goal of examining reported sightings of several other unidentified flying objects. The current hearings are as a result of the stipulation attached to a 2020 COVID-19 relief bill, which required U.S. intelligence agencies to produce a report on unidentified aerial phenomena within 180 days, and that report was presented in June 2021. But the bigger question is, why exactly would governments be interested in unidentified aerial phenomena? Well, one school of thought is that unidentified aerial phenomena could be considered to be some alien spacecraft flying towards the Earth, a concept which even today grabs a lot of attention, all thanks to the decades of sci-fi movies and the mystery surrounding Area 51, along with several sightings by the public. Most of the recent hearings revolved around the potential threats from these UAPs. But none of the public testimony went any way towards supporting a conclusion that alien spacecraft might have crashed or ever visited our planet. The hearings also included closed classified sessions that presumably dealt with somewhat more sensitive security information that shouldn't be released to the general public. The question of life existing beyond our planet, somewhere in the solar system or outside, has always been very fascinating for centuries, which resulted in the search for extraterrestrial life, and even today, we did not taste any success. We don't have to physically go out there to look for aliens. Maybe they could just visit us instead. But did that ever happen? Well, the short answer is no. Why has humanity never been visited by aliens is a question that scientists have been confronting for decades, and researchers came up with a possible and very disturbing explanation. Advanced civilization could be doomed to either stagnate or die before they even get a chance to get where we are today. A very recent hypothesis suggests that spacefaring civilizations grow in scale, and technological development will reach a point, more precisely, a crisis point, where innovation no longer keeps up with the demand for energy. What comes next would be the collapse of that civilization, and the only alternative path is to reject a model of unyielding growth in favor of maintaining equilibrium, but at the cost of the civilization's ability to expand across the stars. The Fermi Paradox draws attention to the contradiction between the immense scope and age of the universe, two things that suggest that the universe should be flourishing with advanced alien life. But there is also a lack of evidence for the existence of extraterrestrial life in the first place, because we were never visited by any. So, where is everybody else? Or are we just alone in this universe? The alien civilizations either collapsed from burnout or they redirect themselves to prioritizing homeostasis, which is a state where cosmic expansion is no longer the goal, making them extremely difficult to detect remotely. Scientists came to such a conclusion by researching studies of the superlinear growth of cities. These studies suggested that cities increase in size and energy consumption at an exponential rate as their populations continue to grow, which will inevitably lead to a crisis point or singularities that will cause rapid crashes in growth, followed by even more precipitous, potentially civilization-ending collapse. So once a planetary civilization transitions into a stage that can be described as one virtually connected global city, it will then face an asymptotic burnout, which is an ultimate crisis where the singularity interval time scale becomes smaller than the time scale of innovation itself. If we want to study these extraterrestrials, the closely collapsing civilizations would be the easiest for us to detect, as they would be dissipating large amounts of energy. Civilizations of these types could undergo a homeostatic awakening, redirecting their production away from the unbounded growth across the stars to one that prioritizes social well-being, harmony with their environment, and sustainable and equitable development. It could be the vast volume of the universe that makes it extremely difficult to achieve interstellar travel, receive signals, or even communicate with any other potential life forms. It might have to do with the fact that aliens are limited by the laws of physics, because if they really wanted to visit our planet, they might need to do it with the same speed as that of light, or more. In theory, even with the speed of light, it would take a signal roughly 4 years to travel from Earth to the nearest star other than the Sun, which is 4 light years away. Einstein's theory of special relativity tells us that, in practice, the speed of a physical object such as spacecraft will always be slower than the speed of light, at least with the technology that we have today. Due to the inverse square law of radiation, signals get weaker in proportion to the square of the distance they have traveled, and that is a limiting factor when dealing with interstellar distances. So, for planets that are hundreds and thousands of light years away, it might take any extraterrestrial life forms at least thousands of years to reach Earth. Even the signals originating from those ancient civilizations will be incredibly weak and very difficult to detect. Some might argue that the governments might be hiding something from us. After all, they don't want you to panic. Let's say that we already have captured a few aliens. Then the rest of their kind might come towards Earth to rescue their long-lost friends. But those are just wild speculations, and we don't have any official confirmations about any aliens being held as hostage here on our planet. With all the radars that we have today that are constantly scanning space, billions of smartphone cameras, and hundreds and thousands of amateur astronomers who are studying the sky, in theory, we should already have plenty of evidence with us if aliens were among us or they visited us in the very recent past. So, studying about what lies beyond our planet is not just limited to governments, but the general public can do their own research on extraterrestrials. But even then, we still haven't found any evidence for aliens visiting our Earth, which brings us to a conclusion that aliens might have never visited the Earth. Maybe life in itself is a very rare phenomenon, and the Earth hosting that rare phenomenon should be something that we should be proud of. As of now, we don't have any proof that extraterrestrial life has ever visited our planet, and we have not yet discovered life beyond our planet. But there are scientists who argue that intelligent aliens could have already visited Earth at some point in our planet's history, unless and until they started their journey less than 2 million years ago. But the lack of such visits would most likely be due to the lack of intelligent aliens, or maybe aliens never visited Earth because of a physical difficulty that makes space travel infeasible. This could be very much related to biology, astronomy, or maybe engineering. Maybe aliens simply chose to never visit us. There is a probability that advanced civilizations beyond Earth arose too recently for aliens to even know that our existence on our planet, or maybe aliens might have visited in the past, but we may have never observed them in the first place. Such civilizations may not completely abandon space exploration, but they would not expand on scales huge enough to make contact with planets like ours that support life. Scientists, however, suggest that the entire thing is simply a hypothesis that is taken from observational data on Earth, and it's also open to discussion, introspection, or more future work if necessary. Another study states that considering the sheer scale of the universe, it would take more than 400,000 years for a signal emitted by one advanced species to be received by the other, which is a time scale that is far greater than the brief periods humans have been able to study about what lies beyond the planet. And the worst part is, we may never be able to be a part of that historic event. There is no doubt about the fact that we already have several unexplained phenomena surrounding outer space. Some might say we already have recorded evidence. But to truly understand about aliens visiting our planet and to have direct evidence, we need to develop more powerful tools and technology than the ones we have today.